Hi, Grandma's Hands. This is my Renaissance Grandma, and I have a request to make banana blossoms. Okay, today I will be using this brand. There are three different brands that I use. Unfortunately, they don't look like they do on this can. It would be wonderful if they did, because that would be a easy fish fillet or chicken tender. Instead, they're all shredded up like this, and you pretty much, now this is a pretty good one right here. And I wish more of them was like that. I just washed them off, so they're kind of draining. They just finished draining. And I'm going to have to mold the rest of them. That's the only thing that makes this unpleasant to make. Okay, so I have my dry flour, and I actually have coconut milk. And the only reason I have coconut milk is because I want to get rid of it before it goes bad. I actually made homemade butter with it, and I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to dip it in there first and then go to the dry. Make your flour batter however you already do it. If if you make milk and this, or this could be all liquid and you can just dip it in that one bowl and then put it in there, however you already do it. I'm just doing it this way. Usually I might use veggie broth over here on this side. Sometimes I just make the one, and I just make it thin enough where I could just take it off, dip a little bit off, and then stick it in the grease. Okay, so okay, so this is what it looks like. And and it will break a loose real easy. So you got to be gentle with this, because like I said, it's already a lot of them I'm going to have to mold. My flour is already seasoned. Season it the way you generally season it. Of course, mine is seasoned with my Renaissance Grandma spices. Then you want to try to get into all those little layers, because this is like a flower. See all those different, oh, you can't see from my arm. See all those different layers? You want to try to get that flour in between all of those flowers. Okay? Now, if you're the type of person that could dip back into the wet and then go back to the dry, you can do that as well. Also, if you this would be like a chicken for me. If you were trying to make fish, you would add your Old Bay, and you would add some seaweed. Okay? I only have a little bit of oil in here. These pieces see, this is what this one looks like. And then the rest of this in here, I'm trying to see if I can find another flour already ready. Okay, so I have. So this one is going to be next. So I'm going to put that in my coconut milk. Get it good and wet. And then now see, a piece of that just fell off in there. Now this is that back part. Now this is really tough. So when you have to like mold them yourself, it is really hard to deal with that back piece. So I always pull it off because it's even too tough to eat. So I will show you that when I start molding them and get to that part. I was trying not to put too much oil in it, and looks like I didn't put enough. Okay, let me see what else I can find in here already ready. Okay, here's a smaller one. And these do not cook long because, as you know, it's not like it's real meat. I'm going to move this around since I really don't even have enough oil to cover them. Okay, so I guess while we wait for that, I will go into showing you how to mold these. Like I said, you have to be very gentle with these or they will try to fall apart on you. Okay. So, generally, I would take this piece, that would be a whole one. I would take this, any of them I could get that's already somewhat formed. Oh, I had more than I thought. I'm impressed. So, okay, so I'm going to take this back part off. Like I said, it is super tough. So I'm not going to even try to, okay, that one was easier to pull apart, so I may keep that one. And I think this is a back one. See how tough? You have to really force that, so I'm not going to use that. This was easier. Okay, so let me show you what you do. First of all, you have to squeeze this water out of it. There's way too much water in these. See? So I'm going to grab a little bit more and squeeze the water out of it. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. I'm trying to squeeze more water out. Okay, let's start trying to mold this. So I'm going to give it a little bit of this coconut milk. And then I'm going to add some flour to it. I'm going to roll it around in this flour. And see, here it is here. So now that's when you have to start molding it. See? And that would be your fish or chicken fillet. If you see some openings in it, or you feel like that opening right there, or you feel it trying to fall apart on you, you can just add a little bit more flour. And there you go. Okay. So I still have this little one still left in here, so it will go in. Okay, I'm going to flip this again. I want it to get to be a golden, pretty brown, just like you would if you were fixing regular meat. You want that pretty golden brown. Okay, this thing don't even want to flip over. Okay, that goes. Okay, so that's all to it. Like I said, you can make this one batter. You can already have your milk or your broth or whatever, however you usually make yours, and then you could just dip it in here once and then dip it in there, or you can have your wet, whatever you generally use, and go from there to there. And like I said, these cans are so different. Sometimes you got more shred in here and you have to do more of the molding. I am so grateful that I at least have about one. This is 2 cans, okay? This is 2 cans. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then them 2, and then that 1. So I actually had 6 that I did not have to mold, which that is wonderful. I do have videos already of this, just in case somebody's thinking, you already did that, but I had a request. I do have new subscribers, and, you know, they may not want to go back fishing through videos to try to find where I made it, so I did not mind making this, as this will be my meal for today. Okay, so this is practically ready. And sometimes if it does not get as crunchy as I want it, after I'm done with all of them, I might throw them in the air fryer for about 3 minutes and get them really crunchy. I am that crunch person. So I do like things super crunchy. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and take that out, okay? And like I said, you have to be very gentle with these, because they will fall apart on you, okay? So it looks just like some fish or chicken. Okay, I'm going to put in this one that I molded. It's a little bit too thick for me. Let me see if I can flatten it a little bit more. Oops. Oh, it fell apart anyway. It's in 2 parts, so that'll be 2 pieces. And then I'm going to put this one. See, it's also just falling apart. Like I said, this is not the easiest meal to make, so now I'm going to have to give this a little hug. since it's trying to fall apart. And it does not have a taste, so you have to make sure your spices are up to par to make this taste good. Okay, see, this whole thing just fell apart in there. This is all I got left. This whole tail fell off. So I'm just going to use this one piece, which may fall out in the pan. Okay, let me scoop these over. I'll do one more. Okay. I'm sure you got the picture by now. And it is very tasty. Like I said, however you want this to taste, make sure it's in your batter or in your liquid, because it's going to take on that flavor. If you got bland flour, if you have bland liquid, it's going to be bland. I guarantee you that. Okay, so that will be the next one going in. And see, look at this little thing. It's just a barely a little bit of anything. So I can either go ahead and fix this little thing like this, or you can mold it, which I will mold it because I have nothing but scraps left in here, so I will mold them. This is why I go through so many paper towels. I do have drying towels in here, but I just prefer paper towels. This is what they're looking like. Okay. The grease is a little hotter than it was when I did that first batch, so you can tell these turned brown way quicker than the other ones. But like I said, there's nothing raw in here but your flour. So that's why you don't want to cake too much flour on them when you're molding them, because you don't want to taste that flour. So after I take these out, so I want to show you how that one looked that I molded. After I take that out, then I will end the video. And I hope that helped for those who wanted to know how to use this. And this is only one way of use. She wanted to know how to use banana blossom. This is only one way of using banana blossom. You can, like as you see, you can mold them. So if you wanted to mold it into a croquette, you can do that as well. If you wanted to chop it up in something, which I wouldn't, because let me show you something. See these little things hanging out right here? I showed you all this once before. Let me see if I can show you on this one. Is that it right there? Let me see. No, that's not it. I'm going to show you what's inside of these. And so to chop these up, you really have to cook them well because it's a, now, there's something. Now that I'm trying to look for it, these are really much, these are like pretty soft. But it is a, okay, there it is. See that? Almost looks like a bone. So this is inside of them. So if you chop these up, that would pretty much make it worse. So if I do chop them up, I remove all of these because I don't want this little, whatever this pointy little thing is, I don't want that getting caught in my throat and something. So I pull them out. But you can chop up the rest of the parts of it. So, but this is my favorite way of making it since I do miss eating fish and chicken. This works for me. And you can put whatever you want to put on it. Hot sauce. If you want to make a sauce, sometimes I make a honey mustard. Okay, this is that one that I molded. See? Still looks like a nice little chicken tender or a piece of fish. Okay? So, I think that's about it. I will mold the last of these in here and finish that off. And that is it. And then cook your favorite side. Thank you for watching. I'll pray for you, you pray for me, and we'll watch God change things. God bless everybody.